Hey friends, we are on lesson 107 today. So find lesson 107 and we will get started. Now on side A, I want you to take notes. I want you to write what I write. Hit pause on the video if you need to and catch up. But I want you to take notes on side A. You still only have to hand in side B, but if you take notes on side A, it'll help you if you get stuck on side B, and also it'll help you to keep this stuff in your memory so that you can remember it from day to day. Also, you can remember it when we get back to the school, because we're not going to go back and do all this again when we get back to the school. We're going to keep going forward, and I want you to remember all of it. Number 1, John weeded Mr. Hill's large garden and trimmed 6 of his shrubs. How much will John charge Mr. Hill? So we're going to look over here. It says for mowing lawns, he gets $5 for a small lawn, $8 for a large lawn. For weeding gardens, he gets $3 for a small garden, $5 for a large garden. For trimming shrubs, he gets 50 cents each shrub. And then a senior citizen's discount is $1. So, John weeded Mr. Hill's large garden. So he weeded a large garden. That's this one. Weeding gardens, large. And trimmed 6 shrubs. So trimming shrubs is 50 cents each. And he did it times 6, didn't he? How much will he charge Mr. Hill? And it doesn't say Mr. Hill's a senior citizen, so we're not going to give him a discount. It's $5 and then 50 cents times 6. So 50 times 6, I'm going to show you 2 different ways to do this. 50 cents times 6 would be 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 5 is 30. Now I don't know if we have done this. Okay, so the decimal point was right here in the 50 cents, right? So now what we have to do is we have to count how many spots over we have to move to put it in our answer. And the decimal point on the 6 is over here, and we don't have to worry about that one because it's not moved over. So 1, 2 spaces over. 1, 2, 1, 2. The decimal point goes right there on the answer. So $5 was weeding a large garden. Trimming 6 shrubs is $3. And I should have written this a little bit different, but I'll put it up here. I'm going to say 50 cents times 6 above there, just to show that that was part of what we did. And when I did the multiplication, I changed 50 cents to a decimal point 50 cents instead of a cent sign 50 cents, because we're going to have to add it to the decimal point 5, if that makes sense. So what we have now is $5 plus $3. $8. So the answer, $8. Fill in the missing add-ins. 12 plus something equals 100. So now we're going to do counting up from 12 to 100. So let's go to the next 10. 12 to get to the next 10 is 12. How many jumps from 12 to 20? Right? So we can count on our fingers, that's fine for now. If we can't think of it in our head, we can go like this. That's probably not the easiest either. I would say the easiest to get from 12 to 20 if you're unsure of it is to go 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 and figure that it's 8. So it's 8 plus, now how many jumps to get from 20 to 100? Because we have to get to 100 now. 12 to 20 is 8. 20 to 100 is, I'm going to subtract these. 10 take away 2 is 8. 80. So we have 8 plus 80. 88. So it's 8 jumps to get to the 20 and 80 jumps to get to the 100. Let's do it again. How many jumps to get to the next tens number? So the next tens number would be 40, right? So 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 7. And put 7 in the ones place. Now how many to get from 40 to 100? 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. 6 tens, 60. 60 and 7. Show quarter of 10 on the clocks. Now when Mrs. Musselman says this, I don't use the term quarter of 10. I don't know if that's maybe in different parts of the country we use language like quarter of. I want you to look at clock vocabulary on page 10. I'm going to show you a few different things there. Now, oh, I forgot quarter of isn't on here too. Okay, so quarter of is the same thing as quarter to, quarter until, or quarter before. I added on quarter to this list because I say quarter to, and I think most people up here say quarter to. And I think most people probably say quarter after up here. But all of these are correct, and quarter of is also correct. So what it means is 15 minutes before whatever the next hour is. Okay, big hand pointed to the 9, 45 minutes after the hour. So it's 15 minutes to the next hour. So quarter of 10 would mean quarter to 10 or 15 minutes before 10. So 15 minutes before 10, the hour is still 9. And do you remember what the minute hand was pointing to at quarter to or quarter of? It was pointed to the 9. That means it's 9:45. So use that page 10 on this, and then I think the page right before it also has a clock that you can use to help you. Number 4, the cost of a marker is 59 cents. Oh, I forgot that there was a clock over here. Show quarter of 10 on the clocks. Okay, so remember, that makes it a little easier actually to be able to write it down. The minute hand, the long hand, is straight at the 9 at quarter to or quarter of. And it's not quite 10 o'clock yet. So make your hour hand almost to the 10. But not quite. The cost of a marker is 59 cents. How much change will you receive from $1? So same thing we did up here. And also, I don't know how long I want this video to go today, but if we get time, I might assign 1 or 2 of these. It's the same thing. I'm not sure I love the setup of this yet, so I'm not sure we'll do it or if we'll do it a different way, but same thing. How much change will you receive from $1? So we're figuring out how much, say this is the change. We're figuring out this is the 59, this is the dollar, we're figuring this out. So it's the same exercise we've been doing just with money, okay? So the cost of a marker is 59 cents. We need to figure out what 100 take away 59 leaves us with. I'm gonna set it up just like this. I think. We'll do it two different ways. So we could do 59 plus something equals $1. Now the other way we could figure it out is $1, and I'm just gonna write it like 100, take away 59 equals what? Okay. So we're gonna figure it out both ways, and then you can decide which way you wanna figure it out when you solve it. So how much change would you receive? Well, 9 going to the next group of 10s, 60. We only have to add 1, right? 59 plus 1 is 60. Now we're at 60. We have to figure out how many jumps to get to 100. 70, 80, 90, 100. 4 10s. Okay, so down here, when we do borrowing, we should also get 41. I'm gonna rewrite this on scratch paper because I ran out of room. And it'll be a mess and you won't be able to read it. 100 take away 59. And the decimal points are right there if we're talking money, right? $1 take away 59 cents. So can't borrow or can't subtract. We have to borrow from the neighbor. Borrow 1, give to the neighbor. Borrow 1, give to the neighbor. 10 take away 9 is 1. 9 take away 5 is 4. And that's where our decimal point is. So 41 cents. 41 cents. You figure out which way works best for you to solve those problems. Try it both ways and see what you like. Or you could do both ways and check your answer. Each box has 24 pencils. Divide the first box in half. Divide the second box into thirds. Divide the last box into fourths. Okay, so boxes of pencils. Each one has 24. So what I want you to do, we're gonna definitely do yours in a pencil. We're gonna divide this box in half. So it has to be 2 parts equal on each side. So each side has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Each side has 12. If they are not equal after you divide them up, something is wrong and you need to go back and correct that, because in order to be a half, it has to be equal on both sides. Third, same thing. Now I'm going to see, I can't divide it into thirds this way very easily, but if I divide it into columns, I can see I can put 2 columns, 2 columns, and 2 columns. Okay, so each one of these has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8. So a third of 24 is 8. Each group has 8. Last one, divide it into fourths. So I think I could either divide in half this way and in half this way, or because I can see 4 equal rows here, I'm going to divide those up. Okay. Each one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each one has 6 when I do that. And it makes sense that if I have fewer groups, if I have more groups that I divide it into, the number in each group gets smaller. And what you're doing now is you're figuring out the first steps in multiplying a fraction times a number. Okay? Someone found the difference between 600 and 143 like this. Why is this not correct? We have to figure out the answer. So I think the easiest way to do this would be for us to set it up again. 600 take away 143. So we have to figure out where the problem is. Let's do one step at a time. Can't subtract, can't subtract, can't go to this neighbor. We have to go all the way over to this neighbor. Borrow 1, give to the neighbor. Borrow 1, give to the neighbor. Okay, I see the first problem. See if you can find it. We borrowed 1, made this a 5, and gave it to the neighbor. But then we borrowed 1 and made this a 9 and gave to the neighbor. They didn't do that. Okay, so let's keep going. 10 take away 3 is 7. 9 take away 4. We are, of course, going to have a different answer than them because they didn't borrow correctly. And 5 take away 1 is 4. So why is the tens different? Because they didn't borrow correctly, right? They didn't borrow from the tens place correctly. Correct answer should be, I should have paid attention and noticed that they gave me room to write over here. So I'm just going to do it again. There we go. All right. So if you get scratch work, hand it in along with your side B. Make sure you take notes every time I do a side A so that you have that for side B. And also make sure you go back and do some of the math facts sheets that I gave you so I can give you a little bit of credit for doing those too, and so that you continue to get better on your math facts for when we get back, because we can't go back and relearn all this. We're going to keep going ahead when we get back. Have a good afternoon.